Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Strange Orphan podcast. I'm your host, Laura Steinell. Thanks for being here. Happy Valentine's Day weekend. I guess that's what we talk about, right? Love. I'll be honest, I'm a very bizarre voice on the topic at the moment, simply because I've just been out of the love game for quite a while now. And admirably so. I think when your life is sort of in shambles, you don't really want to bring someone down with you. I've done the admirable thing and sustained from relationships for a little while because I've just been in such transition. And I think that's a noble thing to do. You don't want to be bandaging those wounds with another human being. You want to just work things out on your own. You're not thinking about procreation when you're decomposing. So I've been in hermit mode for a little while. And I've liked it. But eventually something will need to be done. Eventually I'll need to leave my house again. Dating in general right now feels like eating sand, I would imagine. I don't know. I haven't been on a date in a while, but it just feels like it would be very stressful and grainy and hard. Like, dating has got to be hard when the country's in survival. When half of the country's in survival. More than half of the country. I feel like love and romance right now are in that austere post-war vibe. Dating feels like you're interviewing for some sort of expedition that you don't necessarily know where it's going to lead. You're but you need to ask the questions about being prepared. You're or do you have adequate health care? Do you know CPR? It's these aren't fun questions, but you need to know that someone can come through in times of uncertainty. I'm not faffing about with just good time Charlie. No, I want I've shot a bear, Tommy. I don't want anyone who's shot a bear, but someone who's willing to protect me from a bear. Yeah. And we all know the apps are flawed. The apps are flawed in so many different ways that it almost seems criminal that they're still allowed to exist. They're not only flawed from an algorithmic standpoint, but they're also flawed from just a logical, a paradoxical standpoint. It's almost if everyone in this pool is looking for love, who's going to be the one with the love? It feels oxymoronish. It feels like a bunch of minus side batteries all looking for a plus side. It feels like a bunch of people with an empty tank looking for a fill up. So I don't know why you'd get on. I don't know why you'd get on there. Because we've made it we've put dopamine spurts into it. We've made it so that you've delusionally begun to believe that you can find the person who's going to be with you on your deathbed, like playing a game of Candy Crush. So what's a girl to do? I don't know. What's a girl to do? Stay home with her French bulldog. My French bulldog is my Valentine. Let's be honest. I read somewhere the other day that Gen Z has given up on dating altogether, and that this might be fake. This might be a fake stat, so don't say it. Don't. I preface it with it could be false, but somebody said that more Gen Zs are in relationships with bots than each other, and I pray that's false. It's tough out there, and they don't have any money to go on dates. Bless them, poor guys. I'll be honest. I had a real issue diving into work on this episode because I didn't know how to approach it. I don't know how to talk about love. I can talk about love from a strange orphan standpoint, which is I don't know. I grew up in a house without a lot of love. And so you kind of leave that structure feeling slightly love-starved. And what do then? You go out into the world looking for other people's reflections of love to kind of fill you up, or to give you the missing imprintation that you didn't get. And that's a very dangerous thing. Largely because the people that are willing to give you those reflections, they aren't always the best. They aren't always the reflections you want. And also, when your self-image is at the mercy of other people, it's not a great place to be. It's not very empowering. I've found that when you leave your original home without that fully charged 100% battery of love, you wind up going out into the world asking everyone if they have a charger. And that can really impede on your life. Like you're always sort of looking for a fill up, and it really pulls you off course from what you're kind of meant to do, because you're always a little depleted in the love category. I grew up in a house that was just so cold, and the reflections that I got were like a lot of shame and a lot of cruel eyes and a lot of, it's like, you know, narcissistic homes are like Looney Tunes. They're like fragmented house of mirrors. You leave not knowing who you are, and so you leave feeling really bad about yourself and not knowing who you are because of what's been reflected to you, just like cruel shame and rejection. And so you're setting off on a foot that's already a bit bogged down, right? Like you don't set off soaring. You're kind of like questioning, am I good enough? What do these people think of me? Like, am I okay? And so I want to call that out, because that's a really hard place to start. It's a deep wound, man. I've had to do so much work on that. And it doesn't just like, you don't just fix it once and then it goes away. I think dating brings up all of our wounds. And dating can be great if you're doing it intentionally and you're doing it to see your patterns. But if you're doing it to get love, to heal something in you, it can be really dangerous. You kind of have to heal that wound yourself first. It's a big one. And if you don't, this is how we get trauma bonds. Everyone's favorite word, trauma bonds. Trauma bonds. Wow. Trauma bonds are just basically like childhood wound buffets that you stuff yourself silly at with another person. And you can't leave until you're completely sick of them. But you're trapped there. You're trapped there, staring at another person across from you through a sneeze guard. I think everyone is naturally going to attract some version of a trauma bond. It's just the level at which you're healed enough to notice, like, okay, you bring up this old thing in me. I don't love it, but I fell for so many trauma bonds just because I had a narcissistic mother and an absent father. And so you had Looney Tunes on one side of the house and complete rejection and turned backs from another side of the house. So it was a really mixed bag of like what kind of trauma bond I was going to get. It was always fun. It was always a party. And they always surprised me. Like it would be stuff you would never think you'd fall for. And then yet somehow you're like, how am I here? How did I wind up with you? How did this happen? I got into a relationship with a guy who like loved bombed me so hard and I fell for it. It was COVID. And I was like in that place where, I don't know, I was just like, the compliments felt like being in a casino with like all the oxygen being pumped in, that you just feel so good. And like in retrospect, I like don't understand how I fell for like the complete narcissistic lunacy that this guy was, but just so like effusive and made a lot of big plans that were never going to happen. And then when we finally met up, he wound up like abandoning me in his house, which I didn't even think you could do. But he found a way to do it. I guess in London, there's a like flat, like flats have a lot of different floors. And yeah, I came over for dinner and he was like missing for hours. So I think he was an avoidant. I also didn't have like good boundaries in dating. Like, not really, not sexually, but like in terms of just being like, just talking with people. Like, I didn't know when to like shut it down. And conversations would just take over the whole day. Like, people would spew the entire horrors of their childhood to me. Like, someone dumping a purse out on your lap. And I would be like, I don't know what to do with all this. Do you want this back? And then they'd just leave. Romance is really hard when you don't have that formative. There's sort of like a formative imprint that you need to like get that tells you like, this is love, this is not, this is love, this is not, this is acceptable behavior, this is not acceptable behavior. And if you grew up in like a vacant, cold home, you're not getting any of that. So then you're learning as you go. Brutal. Not to mention, you're also like deeply hungry for attention and love from people. So you wind up in all these circumstances and situations that are just like dangerous, not good. When you're starving, you'll put anything in your mouth. Brutal. The other thing I've noticed that can happen when you are like, you're healed, right? You're able to see the red flags, the amber alerts. You're able to see those things coming, and you no longer get in the car. But there's this other strange area that I've wound up in the recent past of like, and a lot of my girlfriends have wound up here too. They're great, they're competent women, and then they wind up in these relationships that are not the full package, but they're just kind of like, they make an exception for them. They're like, well, it's just for now. It's just for now. And it's like, no, it's not. Like, it's going to go on a lot longer than you realize. It's not going to be just for now. It's going to be for months. And then trying to disentangle your energy from someone that you should have never really been swimming in their pond. That is something I've noticed can be a really tough spot. Like, when you're love starved, you kind of want love and you settle for it in the wrong places. And so I've gotten really keen on talking to myself kind of like a dog walker would, of just being like, leave it. Leave it. Because I think you have to stay in your own stream. And if you start getting into other people, if you start giving major time to minor players, you're just going to wind up really off course. I was in church the other day, and the priest was saying one of the Psalms and it was the one that was like, above all else, guard your heart, because all things flow from this. Like, the direction of your life flows from your heart. And I think if you like really sit with that and like take that quite literally, it's like the things that we invest our energy into, they guide our life. That's our purpose. That's our path. And so when you get into these like side quest relationships that you shouldn't be in, they really derail your path. They really derail your energy. And so I think casual dating is absolute lunacy after a certain age. Like, it's fine when you're young and you're still figuring out, but I don't really think it's fine. Love shouldn't be casual. Like, it should be thoughtful. Our energy shouldn't be casual. Like, what we do with our energy should be precise. It should be purposeful. Like, if people don't have the same, I'm brutal. If people don't have the same like values as me, like, I don't want to get coffee. I don't want to like hear you out. It's not nice, but it's true. Yeah, I could be kinder. But I think what I've been focusing more on is just like getting really clear on myself and my purpose and filling myself up with love first. Like, the more you deep dive into the topic of love, the more like austere it gets, the more unfun and like there's no fantasy in love anymore. Because here's what happens. Here's the shattering moment that happens to the strange orphans. Oof, it hurts so bad. I don't even want to. There comes a moment where you realize that the stories you told yourself to survive your home about what you would find outside of it, no, you realize that's gone. You realize that the days of unconditional love, that door is shut forever. And you have to sit with the hard truth that that love that you were always hoping to find, you, you won't be getting it in this lifetime. Like, it is so painful to do that work. To be like, oh, there's this love that's like this magical, unconditional, original love that fills your original battery that we didn't get? What do you mean? I mean, I've been doing this work for years and it still like bums me out. So I don't want to discredit anybody who's like feeling the ache, of being love starved, because it's legit. It's so legit. And so then you start to understand what love is going to be. And it's a little less, it becomes more realistic and more truthful. And then your way of going about finding it becomes more realistic as well. You realize that finding love really means giving it to yourself first. It means sticking to your path and your purpose, and the right love finds you on that journey. Carl Jung. I love him. Love the guy. There's so many fake Carl Jung quotes on the internet, but he did not say that thing about empaths, just so everyone knows. But he did say this. No matter how isolated you are and how lonely you feel, if you do your work truly and conscientiously, unknown allies will come and seek you. Yeah, Carl, if you are happy, if you find happiness in what you do and what you enjoy, joy finds you, love finds you, and you are just like overall better for it. And even more than all of that, when you do get into a partnership, you tend to you demand less from your partner because you can find it and fill it within yourself first. And then your partnership becomes like, you just want to make them happy. You don't really need them to make you happy. I think Arthur Brooks and his wife have been talking about this a lot lately. And I don't want to paraphrase anything because I don't know their exact quotes, but his wife was saying something interesting about how she was mad at him for a while because I think he was focused on himself and his career maybe. And she was like, when I just took the focus off of him and brought it back to God, I was much happier in our marriage. And I think that's like so perfect of a perspective of like, if someone is making you unhappy, go focus on yourself and forget them for a minute. So all this to say is that love is pointless. No, relationships are a waste. No, that's not what I'm saying. I am saying that like love chases love. So if you are feeling like you're looking for a relationship because you want to fill up, go fill yourself up first. Go do what brings you joy. And if you aren't feeling good, or if you're feeling that sort of like original hunger, like that original low battery that strange orphans tend to have, I get it. I get it. There's grief there. Do the grieving and let that let that wound heal itself before you get into a relationship, because I guarantee you any relationship you get into is just going to mirror back to you all the stuff that you haven't healed yet. It's going to get a little, I mean, that's good. Like, you know what? If you want to date, great. Use dating as a way to analyze yourself, Freud yourself. Like, go on dates, explore how this person triggers you. See how quickly you lean in to fill the pause because you're uncomfortable in the silences. Make dating homework. Just don't bring them home. Also, for anyone out there who's looking for a romantic read this weekend, this book cracks me up. I think it's so funny. It's called Hotel du Lac. It's by Anita Brookner. This book is brilliant. She won the Booker Prize. It's about a romance writer in London who is exiled to a hotel off season in Switzerland because she's done like a really abominable thing in terms of love in her friend group. And it's so funny. And it's just like a really amazing character study on what is love and the ways in which people kind of assert themselves to show positions of power and authority in love. It's really great. And it just explores how like the self needs to remain central to the theme. Always. The self needs to be central to the plot, even in love. So I also think it's a book that's like on trend with what I'm talking about. I don't know, I felt kind of dragged by it. I was like, oh. Yeah. How do we talk about love right now? This is such a tough episode to do when the world needs it more than ever and just feels like there's a dearth of love in the world. But there's not. That's deceptive, right? Like, the love is there. We just need to keep looking at it and not looking the wrong way. We need to keep being more love and less fear. We need to keep reminding ourselves of like how to be love. We have to habit stack love. Incorporate it into the day, like drinking more water. Keep getting that love down. Like protein. Crushing love. All right, well, keep choosing yourself. I hope everybody has a really great, loving, serendipitous weekend. And I hope it surprises you in a very pleasant way. Have a good one.